Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our family service. The ringing of the concho signifies the start of the service. Please sit quietly in your seat.
Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting in Pali and English of the Vandana and Tisarana by the congregation.
Laman Lo, Laman Lo.
Please be seated. Next, please turn to page 117 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book for the Sutra versus reaffirming the vows.
If I fail in any way, may I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy from the heavens. Wondrous flowers rain down
Please rise and turn to page 2 for the recitation Homages in the Red Jodo Shinsu Service Book. Hard it is to be born into human life, now we are living in it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear them. If we do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill-faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpas. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures.
Go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness.
Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings.
Namo Amitabha, Namandava, Namandava.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha Becoming Free on page 18 in the brown Praises of the Buddha book.
Please be seated. For today's Dharma talk, we have Miss Joy Nishida, a board member of our temple.
All right, good morning. I never noticed this camera blocks straight ahead. Hang on. Okay, so you should have received a couple Post-its earlier. Hopefully you have something to write with. For our warm-up activity, I'd like you all to think of a couple good things that have happened in your life recently. They can be either things that happened to you personally, I know what Auntie Merle's gonna say, or just positive things that are happening in the world around us. So go ahead and write them on the front of the Post-it. Okay, so you can put one per Post-it, or if you have more than 2 things, you can put multiple on the Post-its, but make sure you put the positive things on the front of the Post-it, like opposite the sticky side. And then after that, I'm gonna ask you to think of something not as positive. And if you don't have anything not positive, that's okay, that's a good thing. But I'll ask you to put that on the back of the Post-it. So I'll give you a minute or so. Okay, so again, positive things on the front can be recent, can be, in the last few weeks or a couple months, if you can't think of anything recent. And on the back, something that maybe negative happened. And the back is the sticky side, yeah. Okay, and if you need more time, you won't need this until the end of the presentation. So during my talk today, you can also continue working on your Post-its. Shin Buddhist minister and Professor Jeff Wilson, who we've had the privilege of hosting here at our temple back in 2016, I think, mentions in the 2019 article that nothing exists separate from all other things in the universe. Every person lives only by relying on the support of others. The pandemic has been a hard lesson for us all with regards to interconnectedness. From wearing masks and physical distancing to delayed Amazon shipments. Our actions and those of others have had, in some cases, dire consequences. On the other hand, we have seen a lot of positive, like how communities can rally together behind those in need and support our essential workers. I selfishly think about how my students, for instance, bad mask-wearing habits could affect me and my loved ones, when I should also remember how it could affect their friends and family as well. So instead of only disciplining them from my selfishness and fear, my intention should be towards the betterment of them, the students, and their loved ones. I think in times of crisis, it can be easy to focus on me, and not about others instead. We worry about how the gas prices are soaring right now, but instead our worry should be about those in Ukraine who are fighting for their lives. Although there may be nothing we can do to help them at this time, we can at least affect change in our own lives. If we are more aware of our self-ego and how it affects our daily thoughts and actions, then perhaps we could mitigate or even prevent negative consequences of our actions. I forgot, I can take this off, right? A personal experience of this in my life is driving to work. I don't really have a long commute from Kaneohe to Kailua, but it takes me like 10 to 20 minutes depending on the traffic and when I leave. Some mornings I'm tired and I'm impatient, maybe some of you can relate. I weave around cars who are driving within the speed limit. I get angry at times and I monku to myself. But in the end, I still get to school in the same amount of time as if I didn't weave impatiently. So why spend all that energy being angry when I could spend that time mentally preparing for school, or reflecting on things happening in the world, or just singing along with the radio? In Jodo Shinshu, there are no separation between self and others. If we can understand our bombu, or foolish nature, and practice selflessness and gratitude in our daily lives, then we will be more appreciative for what we have and not focus on what we don't have. Dr. Wilson also states that Shin Buddhism's all-embracing teaching may seem radical at a time where religions often divide the world into some version of those who are saved and those who are not. It's easy to think of those we dislike, whether it's a politician, a neighbor, a coworker, or a certain authoritarian whose decisions result in the killing of innocent civilians. Shin Buddhism teaches us that even these disliked individuals are valued as much as you and I, and that they too will be born in the Pure Land. While that might be a painful pill to swallow, for me personally, accepting that as the truth seems to make me a less angry person most of the time, especially when it comes to things that are out of my control. Dr. Wilson goes on to say that when we realize that we do not need to beg for salvation, create good karma, or vainly chase after benefits, gratitude arises from within and we recite the Nembutsu with joy and humility. The path has already been accomplished for us, and our part is simply to relax, trust, and say thank you, Namo Amida Butsu. This is the Jodo Shinshu way. Back in 2007, the Junior YBA invited Dr. Reverend Mark Uno, son of Taitetsu Uno, as our guest speaker at our 50th Junior YBA State Convention. And among the stories that he told us was a story about his cats. You knew that was coming, right? His cats, Tata and Onyx. On several mornings, he would wake up, open his bedroom door, and find that one or both of the cats had rolled a fruit off the table and down the hallway. He would sometimes get annoyed at the cats for playing with their fruits on the ground, but after a while, he decided that it was probably their way of showing gratitude and compassion for feeding and caring for them every day. From that point on, he felt grateful and happy when he saw the fruits on the ground. And he would say, thank you, Namo Amida Butsu, to Tata and Onyx for their morning offering. Last month, as part of a video series on the Buddhist publication Tricycle, Dr. Uno spoke about the decline in health and the death of Tata. As much as they were concerned and worried, he also felt that Tata was just as concerned about leaving them. During his final days, Tata would put his paw on Dr. Uno or his wife Megumi's lap, as if to say, it's okay, I'm still here. At the very end, even though the cat's body was getting stiff, Tata moved one paw as if to say, goodbye and thank you, just a few minutes before passing away. It was in these moments that Dr. Uno realized that even cats have Buddha nature, and was so grateful to have cared for Tata. Showing gratitude is something I have to constantly work at. I can easily get lost in my busy life, as many of you know, and forget to show how thankful I am for everyone around me and for the opportunities that I am afforded. Being forced to speak at service is a great way to reflect. Don't you think? As you know, I teach math at Kailua High School. Here are some of my reflections of teachings during the pandemic. After I made that list, I realized that the positives in green outweigh the negatives in red. I also found this fart meme, which I plan to post in my classroom, since I'm so tired of telling kids to wear their mask correctly. If you can't read it, it says, if you can fart through your jeans, you can talk through your mask, by an anonymous first grader. In addition to being grateful for mask wearing, I'm happy that students are back in person, and the students are much happier too. Students' social and emotional health were really suffering over the past 2 years, and now they're slowly recovering. We're also happy to get back to serving the community in person. This was a joint Castle and Kailua Key Club beach cleanup at Kailua Beach recently. Great turnout for that. I love seeing my kids in person and not just on a screen. I'm very happy for in-person junior YBA events. I picked these pictures specifically for our MCs today. We recently cleaned up graffiti at the Peace Bell at Blaisdell Park. And also in December, we hosted the Moilili Honganji service, in which Junior YBA members led Vandana Tisarana, Nembutsu, Gathas, and chanting in person, while the congregation attended online via Zoom. And if you can't see, we've got Emma up here, and Emma and Wyatt on the bottom picture with their dad. Some of you know, hang on. Okay. Our pets continue to keep us sane and happy and provide us with comfort during times of suffering or discomfort. Their boundless compassion should be a model to us all. If only we could shut out negativity and only focus on contentment and compassion, we'd be as relaxed as Nori here, who I rated as a 9 out of 10 loaf. If you know, you know. Some of you know that John now does dialysis at home. While there is a lot to do and worry about, John would be the first to tell you all the good reasons for doing this at home. For me, I'm grateful for my new skill as a home phlebotomist. In our lives, there are many reasons to monku or complain, but it's much better to use our time and energy enjoying and living each unrepeatable moment of each day to its fullest potential. There are lots of reasons to be angry or sad with the events going on in the world right now, but instead of being narrow, scalding, and irrational, I truly believe you can change how you process and perceive things around you and be a cutie pie instead. You know I had to include a math meme. So in closing, I have an easy 2-part exit pass activity. This is also my opportunity to throw in a little pop culture, as I try to do in most of my Dharma talks. The first thing is, don't do it yet, but I'll have you stand up and stick your Post-its on the walls, and if you still need to write, that's okay, you can stick it on after the service. So you wrote the positive thing on the front and the negative on the back, so when you stick the Post-it, it should be easy to see the front, right? But because of the nature of the Post-it, you can flip it and see the back. So it's not impossible to see the back. So I think that this is a good Buddhist practice to be fully aware of both positive and negative and how they interconnect with us, but ultimately focus on all the good we have in our lives. So let's take a moment. You can stand now and stick your Post-it on a nearby wall if you're done. If you're not done, you can stick your Post-it after service. So just like how Neil is doing there, just stick it on a wall or a door. Go ahead. And I hope that after service, you'll take a moment to walk around and read everyone's Post-its. I love that they're bright pink. Thanks, Prudence. Yeah, and don't worry, if you still haven't written your Post-it, you can still write it after. That's okay. Okay. The second part of my exit pass, really short, starts off with a little lesson in pop culture history. The dab is a move that might have originated with Kamen Rider in the 70s, which, by the way, I wasn't alive for, but became popular in 2015 with the youth. And you can see on the left side, that's what it looks like. This trend is kind of old now, so we don't want to do that anymore. So instead of doing the dab, we want to do the nab. The nab, and recite Namo Amida Butsu together. So ready? Ready to do the nab? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So hopefully the nab will never get old. And thank you for listening to me today. leave that up.
Thank you, Auntie Joy. Good talk. Please rise for the Gothic Quest of Life on page 126 of the Brown Service Book, and continue standing for the number 2 afterwards.
is a unique experience with beauty and truth, all of its own, with no identical counterpart in history, and none absolutely the same in the future. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Are there any announcements? Yes. Okay.
Good morning. Nice to see some people I haven't seen since the beginning of January, so welcome. It's kind of nice to know that COVID is hopefully going to go away soon. So as you noticed, we, at the recommendation of our bishop as well, we no longer have to check for vaccine cards. So people, or have to usher people in to have distance between groups. So I told our members that people who signed up for those two tasks have no longer been, no jobs anymore, so we'll still have people assisting us. So today's volunteers, thank you Wyatt and Emma for being our MC, and your mom for playing the piano, and of course Joy for your ever interesting talk. Team B is today's group that's providing us refreshments. So again, we still make it as a takeaway for those of you that wish to take them and go. For the rest of you who want to stay, please stay a while and socialize. And of course, always in the background, but equally important, thanks Cookie for ringing the concho. And in place of Ryan, who's not here today, thanks John for doing the recording, which we will still post on YouTube for those who can't make it. And as usual, thank you, Sensei. Prior to the pandemic, we used to have at least, on an average, 45 people attending our service. And I look forward to that time again soon. So since January, when we started in November and December, but since January, our average attendance has been 24. So that's not bad. And we've also had new people attending. Some of them aren't here today, but some are. So, welcome. Next week, our speaker will be Reverend, and he'll be giving us the Dharma message. So, are there any other announcements? Miss Cynthia. She said, just bingo. Cynthia has decided that we should have some more interesting things during our social hours. So she's planning bingo. So we're going to have bingo every month. We haven't decided what Sunday or what you're going to get in prizes, but it should be fun. So we will start there. We will announce it to the members. We just missed the newsletter, so I'll send it out via email, and then it should be in the next email, next newsletter. Yes, Joy. Sure.
So it's posted by the food table side, but I announced this before, but the Buddhist Studies Center is holding their 2022 spring seminar on it's Friday and Saturday, March 25, 26. It's virtual, and I'm on the committee, so that's why I'm trying to push it. The Friday night one, which is 7 to 8:30, is the panelists will be my junior YBA state officers, the 5 of them. Maybe four, I don't know, we'll see what kids show up. And then on Saturday, our guest speaker is Jacob Chang, who's our former Hopong Ji Mission of Hawaii Youth Specialist. And then we also have Wayne Yoshioka, who's a member of Hawaii Betsuin, Dwight Matsuo, who's been active in our Yes Camp program, and then Wade Toyama, who will speak about someone who's been in youth programs and is currently in temple leadership. So, and that's 10 to 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. So, short virtual sessions. The registration is, I want to say it was a week before, but it's virtual, so technically you can sign up right before as well. I'm one of the tech people for it, so the link to sign up is on the flyer. Okay, thank you.
Any other announcements? Otherwise, thank you for attending today's service, and please help yourself to refreshments.